Hi, it's Rabbi Eisenberg. Welcome to this week's pre-Pesach Dvar Torah. This week's Parasha, Parshas Tzav, tells us a following pasuk. The Torah tells us that there's Eish Tamid Tukadam Mizbeach Lo Sichbe. A fire, an eternal fire has to burn on the Mizbeach, and that fire is not meant to be extinguished. There's a very important lesson, I think, within this specific pasuk, and that's the following. There's a famous song, and there's actually a famous poem that was written by Rabbi Elazar Askari, who says, Bilvavi Mishkan Evne. In my heart, inside of me, I will build a Mishkan, I will build a tabernacle for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Over Mishkan Mizbeach Osam, in that Mishkan, in my heart, in that tabernacle, I will put a Mizbeach for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our heart, our feelings, who we are, that also needs to have a mizbeach. That also needs to have an altar in it. And within that altar, there has to be a constant fire. You speak sometimes to people and you say, this is a man whose heart's on fire. What we mean with that is he has an extreme emotion towards something. He feels very strongly about it. And he's willing to put his money where his mouth is, and he's willing to put his energies and emotions and everything into that thing that he really, really feels deeply about. And we have to realize inside ourselves we need to make a sanctuary. And inside ourselves we need to create an altar. And that altar has to be a place where there's a constant fire. And you know, sometimes that fire, it will be a big fire. And sometimes that fire will be a little bit smaller. Sometimes we'll feel really close. And sometimes we'll have times we'll feel really far away. And we won't feel connected. But that fire always has to be there. That fire is never allowed to be extinguished. And if we see that fire going down, in the same way if we needed a fire to remain, we need to fan the fire. We need to add more wood to the fire. Inside ourselves, if we feel our fire is coming down, we can't just let it go out. Because if we do leave it alone, it will at one point or another go out. Fan that fire. Add wood, add coal to that fire. Make sure that that fire becomes something important to you and something you focus on and something you invest energies in. And that's what we need to do over Pesach also. Pesach, we do it every year, and sometimes you feel, I've done this, and I've done this 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 70 years. How much more often can I do this? And we need to fan that fire. You need to take that fire and infuse it and make it grow and make it become big and make it have substance to it. Because small embers and small flames don't create a great fire. They create a tiny little flame which can't burn and which can't do anything. And you need to fill yourself. You need to create that great fire inside yourself. And that's what the Torah is teaching us. Never let that fire extinguish and make sure it's always burning bright. This Pesach, let's hope all our fires burn brightly. We're blessed with a Pesach of happiness, of health and of hope. And most importantly, a Pesach that brings us true freedom. Wishing you and all of your families a very good Pesach. Thank you.